Hey, Laura. Laura, did you stream on Friday? Because I checked in and I couldn't find your stream. You streamed at 12. Okay. All right. Gotcha. I got you. Sorry I missed it. So I'm just trying to set everything up right here. It's weird. All right. Because this is a strange setup. I actually have, you can see the camera here. I have a different lens on it that's like more wide. And so I'll switch the lens when I'm doing close-up work. Or rather, when I start drawing. I'm just trying to get an overview right now. Hey, thanks, Laura. Yeah, it's a sect of Hinduism, and there's this one gentleman here in Indian who or from India rather, who wants this painting. So it's yeah, kind of right now having to make the faces up because I don't have models for it. It's a little bit difficult for me to find models, but I essentially took pictures of myself like with cloth on, and that's what I'm doing right now. It's just trying to get the cloth, the figures, you know, everything set up. I'm gonna have to draw the background in, all sorts of stuff. Ooh, there's one image that I forgot to put in. Let me do that really quick. Can I do it? All right, I'm gonna have to take this camera just for a second. So I'm still like saying this up. This is kind of weird. All right, this is gonna go out for a second. I'll get it back up though. What's this? Okay. I need to send myself something, and then that way you can see what it is I'm working on. Here, there we go. Where is it? This is it. Okay, cool. Email this to myself, download it, and then I'll upload it into the stream. That's what we're gonna do. Send. Actual size. Okay, so this is like a copy of the painting I'm doing essentially. It's not anything that I came up with myself. So I'll get the camera back on. Come right back up. There you go. Cool. We got it. All right, now upload this. Is what stereotypical, Laura? Save. Stream. Wait a second. Let's go back here. Stream plus image. Add source. New source.
Okay, done. This is the thing that I'm
this gentleman wants it to look like, but I'm going to make it more realistic. So this is essentially it. So just move this, like this is it right here. That's how it looks. But I'm going to make it obviously a little bit different. It'll be more realistic than this. So this is what I'm doing. Let's put this right underneath. How's that? Yes. Something there. Okay. So that's it. To say that all Indian men look like an old mystic. That's so racist. I don't know. I don't know. All right, cool. So I think we got it. So what I need to work on are the hands. So I'm going to switch the lens out. Okay. And switch these lens out, and that's what we're gonna work on. Jinshin, hey buddy. What's up, man? All right. Okay. Jinshin, this is the painting I'm working on. This is the studio commission that I have now. It's a big thing. As you can tell, I'm right here beside it. Yes. All right, so this is it. I'm 6 feet right here. 6 feet. And this is 4 feet by 3, 36 by 48 inches. All right, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a lens, zoom it in, and we're gonna work on this area right here. I need to work on this. So I'm gonna lift this up actually. That might be smart. Let me do that. This isn't that heavy, honestly. It's a 1/2 inch birchwood panel. Probably here. So when you work, you want it to be more or less eye level. It doesn't need to be like totally eye level, but just in the ballpark of it. So I'm not reaching down all the time. This is okay, I could do this. All right, here we go. You'll have to just be a little patient. I'm gonna zoom in and everything with this, okay. How does this look? Hey, Clara. All right, we got the group here. All right, so that's how it is. So here we go. Clara, this is a commission piece that I had. I'm gonna take the lens off. I'm gonna have to readjust everything. Give me a sec. There we go. Okay, so this is the area I'm going to be working on. So you can see there's the face, I made it up. But I really need to work on it because it looks fake. As is this one, so I haven't spent a lot of time on it. This gentleman's saying Indian style here. I'll show you what I did for like the cloth and all that stuff. I'll go through the pictures. So this isn't, this is going to be a little bit different than what we're used to seeing because like as far as the streaming format, normally I have a drawing and then I have a reference photo and it's pretty straightforward. I'm just copying the drawing or rather the reference photo. This, however, is something where there's so many multiple parts to it and multiple reference photos that I'm working with. And now I have not linked this in the photos, my iPhotos, but if y'all want to, if y'all do want the reference photos, which are absolutely just retarded that I've done, you can, I'll put them up for you, but just let me know. All right, let me get this in. You'll see what I'm talking about. Because I posed for them. I literally posed for all this stuff. Okay, we'll do that for now. I might zoom in on the hand once this is a general area, and then we'll just zoom, like, kind of focus in. It's like an Indian Santa. Only brings you enlightenment instead of material toys. But material toys do bring enlightenment, Laura. Cool. All right, so we got this. We got it. Now, what I need to do, so this is the painting that this gentleman wants me to copy. I'm gonna blow this up because y'all haven't seen it like totally yet. And it's you know, it's a spiritual painting. It's not very well painted, but we'll but he wants the composition. He wants the composition with it. And now his cousin owns the painting. That's another thing. His cousin owns the painting. He actually had him send me some pictures. And there we go. Claire just started working on a piece where she posed herself to get the pose right. It's a nice option to be able to pose for your art. Exactly. Now, let me show you what I've done here on that node. So we have, here's one. And as you can see, I have different poses actually for the cloth. This one in particular is going to be for the hand. And let me zoom in. So like I said, this is kind of like I'll be messing with this quite a bit, like doing this stuff, moving things around. That's how we have to work with this. So I have a couple reference photos. Did I just lose it? There, okay. So up. So this is the hand. Now, here's the thing. This is the hand, but the lighting isn't that great, but I actually know how to fix that, but the position is more or less. Wait a second. That's not the position. Damn it. All right, I have to go find it. I literally just had it, but that's not it. I must have gotten the wrong one. Well, which one am I using? Oh, this one is the one I was using. It's 37, not freaking 16. Okay, 37. All right, okay. Rectifying an error, 37 browse. Okay. Boom, this one, done. Now, and that's it. So that's the hand position, except I bent the finger a little bit. All right. And here. So this is what we're working with. Now, I also, as you can tell, I tilted it a little bit more. So let's see if I can rotate this. I don't know if I can. Give me a sec. Stupid freaking, I know you can rotate it. What the hell? Rotate. What happens over there? Oh, you can't do that. Rotate. If I hold down this, no. Screw it, whatever, it doesn't matter. So you get the idea, okay? So that's kind of it right there. This is what I'm going for, except I bent the finger because I didn't like how it was straight. And so I'll be working on that. And then I have this other, wait. So like, to do this, I have an app on my phone where you can like do remote, it's like a remote control for taking the pictures. So I can set this camera up, and here, let me show you what I did first, because this is kind of cool. All right, so what I did, all right, so yeah, here's my camera. I have the tripod, and then over here where the creepy mannequins are, with the redneck wig. Okay, see the redneck wig. See, I posed right here. Okay, wait, let me zoom this in some. Give me a sec. And I promise we are gonna get to this, but this is totally worth what I'm showing you. It's gonna blow your mind, freaking mind. Okay, what we do is blow this up. We're gonna hide this and this. Wait, I'll leave that one, screw it, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's probably good. Now, here's what we do. All right. Mannequins. Now, I posed right here, but I set the camera up. There's the green screen. So I set this tripod up to take the photos. I set it up like, okay, so this is 6 feet right here. I set it up probably about eye level to where I think. So this is probably about 4 feet, 3.5, 4 feet up right here. And this is where I set the camera. And I had it zoomed in, so it was about right, you know, going to here. And I would use my phone to remote control, take the pictures. So I would sit here, and you'll see like this is the cloth that I put on myself. And I actually was looking into the screen on my phone to see what the camera was seeing. And like that's how I individually folded each fold to where I wanted it, like, you know, so it was aesthetically pleasing. So that's what I did. So everything's designed how I want to. So I took several different reference photos, and let me show you something. This is what I'm talking about here. Okay, so these are all the photos that I have. I don't know why I'm out of breath. Okay, so like this stuff, this is what, like each, I think this one in particular, like this one I used for, this is the one I used for the arm. Okay, so this is 51. So this I use for the arm, and you can see that there. Do you see what I'm saying? So like I specifically, it's not like I had to use one photo for the whole thing. For each photo, like I got what I wanted. So I have like, you know, maybe about 5 or 6 different photos to put this together. So that's kind of how I'm going with this. Now, you know, look, with cloth, it's, I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that. Ideally, those mannequins over there, you know, and I have more over there. You can see the ass. That you can set the cloth up, right? You can set the cloth up and actually, you know, paint from real life. In this case, I did a, you know, I took photographs, which is fine, totally fine. So that's the plan. I'm going to do a color study as well from this, but first I'm going to draw this up. And the reason why I'm drawing it up is because the composition's already set. I'm doing the color study because the colors in this work are not realistic, right? They're not realistic colors. So that's kind of, I'm saying the table for this, and we will get to work with this, but it's good that y'all understand like why I'm doing this, how I'm working this. It's a huge part of this. All right, let me set this up and I'll catch up with everything. And then we're gonna get started. We're gonna do the hands, all right? And we'll just switch around and I'll zoom in. It'll be good. We got this. All right, so this is what we do. This is how it goes. All right. All right, let me catch up on this. So the idea of posing, just simplify the confusion, yes. And I pose for my painting. I'm starting the David and Goliath model on my, and my country donuts. Everyone, I hope this day finds you. Hey Randall, hey buddy. Looks like you're checking the time, although there's no watch on your wrists. Thank you too. I think you'll do a way better job than the inspiration. Yeah, well, you know, I'm going to put different technique to it. It will be better. It should be. But you also have to maintain the spirit, because he had a spirit in his work. You know, he had a love for it, and you have to put that in. People can tell it's not always good enough to just have the technique better. That does help. Man, I wish I had an art studio like yours, Lewis. So nice to have a big designated space. It really, really does make all the difference. And one thing I would say, whatever you get something with high ceilings if you can get it, because it helps tremendously. I'm going to show you one last thing. I'm not going to, guys, this is important. Okay, let me explain to you my studio first. All right, this couch this couch right here, it used to be right here. Okay, so I want you to see, oh, I almost ran into my camera. Okay. All right, so you see this opening, right? You see how there's a ceiling, but it's there? This used to be a wall. That was a separate studio all in here. This was my space. Okay, this was my space. This was my space right here. And it's not that big. It's really not that big, especially when you think there was a couch there. I didn't have this. I always had the bookshelf though. That I put in, I don't know when I put that in, but anyway, it was crowded, it was cramped. I used to walk through this door right here, okay? But then we opened it up and got this whole space. So I took over this studio too because they got, and I completely transformed it. It used to be, there used to be like, obviously a wall here, and this was a gallery. So you have the track lights up top, and then it was like cubicle space in here, like the carpet. This was an area, and then that was an area over there, and there was a dividing wall there, and then of course a wall coming this way, that way, and there was like doors here. So it was like it was like, you know, office space, and then there was a gallery where you had have a couple pictures here. That's what it used to be, and that was their entrance. But now I took over this whole thing, and so I'm slowly taking over the entire building and then the world. No, but this makes all the difference. But my point in saying this area right here, it wasn't big for a studio, but it seemed much larger. It seems larger because of the ceiling. It's so high. I mean, I don't know. It's probably like 11 feet high at least. So it's pretty big. It makes all the difference in the world having a nice studio. All right, so we've had a lot of prep for this. I'm going to get going, start drawing the hands and everything. Let me get my get this up. So as you can tell, there's a lot of prep work involved in this. It's not just like, it's not so straightforward with everything. There's my stupid ass picture. Do this to pull the, oh, that was good. I just heard myself talk. Mute. It's actually going pretty quickly. Had to put it on low latency. All right. Yeah, you see the duct tape. Honestly, the duct tape on the floor, the duct tape parts you see are the parts where this is cheap carpet. The carpet's actually like coming up in some places. And so I had to duct tape them down. Duct tape actually sticks. The masking tape, however, are the places where I do stand or I set easels up. All right, let's get this going. Let me resize this. Get everything up, and then we're going to start drawing. Start freaking drawing. Okay. Let me, you know what, I'm going to zoom in on that hand some for you guys because I'm going to go with the hand that's falling a little bit. Now, here's the thing, I might have to make slight modifications. Slight modifications just because. You know, it's an old man. My hands aren't that old yet. Right, so this is what we're going to be working on. This section of it. Okay, we'll do that. The hand. You see, there's me posing, but that's a separate one. That was like for the cloth and everything. I actually need to put the hands in too, but I need to make them look feminine, which is a little tricky. This is the one. Okay, cool. That's
pretty much it. Let me bring this in some, and then we'll get started. So I'm just going with charcoal right now. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is. The prep works a lot, Laura. I agree. I guess it's part of where art is real work. It can make it hard to jump in for sure, but I've tried to reframe my thinking that's kind of a meditative time, like cleaning the brushes. I'll also add to that, and that's actually a very good point, Clara. I'm doing this because I know from experience that I literally waste my time. If I was, for example, trying to get the colors right on a massive scale, which I've done before, I literally changed the entire color scheme of a painting that was 4 by 6 feet. Because I did not, and I did do color studies, but I changed my mind halfway through, which means I was not really set on it. So it's a pain in the ass to do a color study. I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm gonna go quicker on this because I'll start painting sooner. Y'all get where I'm going with this, right? If I have to change something, it's on a massive scale. And I don't really know what works well with the color because I don't have a color reference. So I have to experiment on something small, which means I'm gonna have to do some drawing. I'm gonna have to get a basic painting down, a small one, and really work out the color. But when I do, this goes super fast and I don't make the mistakes that I otherwise would make. That's why I'm doing it. It sucks, I agree. Like, I wish that you could just do it. Just freaking do it. And you can. And I've done that before and it never works. Never works. Okay. Pull my image up over here. Which is this one. This is it. Cool. Got it. Eraser. All right, so I also have to make this kind of look like an old man, right? It has to look like an old man. Old man hands. Old man. All right. We don't want to have Gumby wrists. We have to have form to it. We're always talking about form, right? Always talking about form. And so here we go. Now, this eraser, see that? 1, 2, there's an angle. Look at this. I want y'all to see this. When y'all work, hopefully you can see in the stream, I hope so, but so we have, I'm gonna try to carry this through for you. We have this, that was bad. And then we have another one going this way. You see that? Those two. So that's what we're picking up. And then I'm carving it, really working with the eraser here. All right, so that's what we're doing. We have to get the joints, whoops, it's going sideways. So we're just hatching in the shadow shapes, a little bit softer down here, and then very soft there. Okay. Some left-handed action going. So I use this knife edge quite a bit. So y'all see why bark drawings, again, so we're doing the same thing but on a larger scale at this point. Now I'm looking at the knuckle. I see this one little piece here. It's kind of going at that angle. It's going like that. So we have this angle here. That. Follow through. This point is close. Just modify it a little bit. Subtle points right here. There we go. Cool. This is popping out a little bit too much, so this actually comes up some in comparison to where this is, because that's too long. Bring that up. Now this is how I've sharpened the charcoal. I think I've shown you all this before, but this is how I've sharpened it. It's like a knife point. It's thick there. You see that's thick. You take it this side. This is actually a sharp edge. It's very thin. It gets thinner. It goes up to the point like that. That's what I'm using. All right. So make sure that knuckle's not too big. So we're gonna fill out that middle finger. So press it up with the eraser. There you go. All right. Working. This is good. I get to stream and I get to get a commission done at the same time. Now, this is something where I like it, you know, with the face and everything around here. I am putting a degree of shadow into it because I really do want to do very direct paint application and get it down quickly. I don't want to have to correct a lot in paint. So this is an example where it's multi-figures where I am actually going in and drawing. So that's the thing. It's good to know how to do a lot of things so you have the option of doing it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it every time. I could, if I wanted to, go in with paint, but with multi-figures, you don't want to do that necessarily. You want to sketch it out beforehand. You want to make sure either have it transferred properly or have it sketched up, however you choose to do it. But you have to have something to you know, that keeps you within the boundaries of where you're working. Otherwise, it's going to be so hard to properly place multiple figures, right? I mean, you don't want to do that. It's just really creating so much work for you, way too much work. So. Actually, going to put some shadows here. Now, this is what, okay, wait, okay, I'm going off the screen there. I'll tilt the camera some. One second. Just noted that. Sorry, guys. Here, let's do this. See if this works a little bit better. And, look at that. Okay, I think that's better. Now, here's the thing. I want you to notice too, like when I'm drawing, sometimes I'll have my finger here. I'll kind of be like, as I'm drawing, I'm kind of doing this with my pinky, okay? But I'm not smearing it with the flesh. I'm actually touching it with my fingernail, okay? Fingernail will have less grease, and it won't make the marks that, you know, a finger will, like sliding through like that. Sliding through, it'll eventually just, you know, blur it out. So you want to kind of have that. Now, oftentimes too, I won't be like this. I'll be just like this. And so this camera, watch, when I'm doing this, my whole arm's moving. See this? Now this takes some practice, but start practicing it, especially if you're working on a large area, because when you're working, you know, you want to be able to be very fluid with your marks, right? Every which direction. But you kind of, it's almost like, I feel like, you know, in a lot of ways you lead, you know, I mean, you're leading with your whole arm. It's not just like, you know, wrist action or whatever. It's kind of the whole thing. So you have to keep that in mind. It takes some time to do. So how long do you reckon it will take you to create this masterpiece, Liz? I don't know. I'll give you an estimate in a second. Do you make low detail and high detail works for different clients to fit clients' budgets and your time? I should, but I always make them as solid as I can. I should though. I should. Except, I will say the last one that I did, that cityscape for my friend, he said I would have pushed it a little bit more, but that was still a really good painting for what he wanted. Like when you look at it in person. The bar drawings really helped me. I still draw with the same mindset, simplify form. Exactly. This is bar drawing. This is bar drawing. You can't escape it. You cannot escape it. So we have the option here of, okay, so I'm bending this finger. We have the option of drawing this out and then simply shading it in, or we do have the option too of shading it in and then drawing. I'm going to do a combination of both, right? You shade, and then I'm going to start plucking out and certain forms and simplifying them, or detailing them, or correcting them, or what have you, right? That's what I'm doing. Okay, so elderly people, their knuckles will probably be more pronounced. I assume there's going to be a degree of arthritis, perhaps. And since I'm a medical expert here, you can trust everything that I have to say about absolutely everything in life. Okay. There we go. I mean, bar drawings is what gives your eye the ability to see, and your brain the knowledge of how to develop this stuff. I mean, you have to have a plan of action. You can't just go through and start shading, obviously. You can be the best, one of the best artists in the world, but you'll always benefit by just being very prudent in the very beginning of your work, I think. Okay. It's raining outside. I'm actually very pleased that the stream is doing so well. It's very strange because that one time, I think like 2 or 3 streams ago, when it was a horrible stream. Y'all remember that? Hopefully you don't, but I know you do. It was a horrible stream. Well, it wasn't raining, it was just overcast. Well, it's pouring outside right now. It's overcast, obviously. It's pouring, though. It's not. So I'm wondering if it had, perhaps it has to do with, I don't know. I don't know what it has to do with. It's kind of strange. Black old sun, won't you come? Okay. There we go. Wash away the rain, black old sun. Won't you come? Won't you come? Okay. Why I have that song in my head? I haven't listened to that in forever. So here's the thing: so her hands are going to be like right here. Let's see. Okay. You can't see where I'm marking. There's one hand like down there. There's another hand kind of coming up. And this hand is going to kind of be crossing through it. So there's going to be kind of this connection, right? This composition flows down here through his hands. So that's kind of what it's going to be. So that's why I'm working this with it the way that I am. All right. So. There we go. All right, guys. So no, this is a nice piece. I am enjoying this a little bit more than I thought that I would. And the gentleman who wants this is a very devout man in his faith, and I think that always goes a long way for people. So he really is very enthusiastic about this, and so it's nice being able to give him what he wants, and he kind of wants this for his family. You know, it's an heirloom because these things are expensive. They are expensive, and but when they're done right, it's going to be something that they have forever. They can pass down to their children, and you know. That's why I have to do a good job with this stuff, right? I mean, you gotta, you know, art is very difficult, especially when you're like, you know, you're not getting paid what you want to get paid for. It's very hard. But you got to remember that whatever you put down here, if you do it right, is going to be around forever. And all the hardships it took to go through this, they're going to be gone. That's it. But what remains is the painting, is the work. And that's very important to keep in mind as an artist. And look, guys, as an artist, and you'll hear this in art schools, and I don't really know if they teach it, and I'm sure some people do. Okay, I'm not going to be so arrogant to think that I'm the only one who would be saying this. But in art, you know, you'll hear, especially in like, you know, this classical method of drawing, the classical realist, whatever you want to call it, you'll hear, oh, the beauty of brush stroke, you know, you have to make it beautiful, you know, like form and this and that, and they strive for it. But if you never go beyond that, if you never have really meaning or depth or stronger understanding of what you're doing, your work is going to stagnate. It's not going to go anywhere, in my opinion. There's a lot of really great painters today, and they do beautiful work. But it only goes so far. Like you have, in painting, you have a huge potential to really make a mark over time and really lift people up in a way. It sounds really corny, but it's true. I mean, you have it's a huge responsibility if you think about it. But you have to think about it. You can't. I think it's very wise. It's very prudent to think about these things. There we go. So I am turning this with form now because sometimes fingers need that. Let me go back over because I'm going to step back here a little bit. So I'm turning this with the form. Oh, and I forgot to answer your question, Laura, about how long it's going to take me, this. I'm aiming for a month. It might be 3 or 4. It depends. That's why I'm, again, setting it up. So I don't know if y'all have noticed, but when you watch me draw sometimes, it seems like it's staying in the same stage for a long time. But then all of a sudden at the very end, it starts coming together. And that's the same with this. It's all about setting the table. It's all about setting the stage for those beautiful brush strokes that people will actually see. Nobody will see any of this, right? Nobody will see, I mean, except, you know, we're recording it, yeah. This is good that we're recording it. That's why I like doing this. It shows the whole flow of the work. It shows it, you know, the whole thing. But, no, what do you see when you go to museums? You see the last strokes that they put on, right? The painting. You don't always, unless it's like a alla prima, you don't always see everything underneath. There's several layers that you don't see. It's the prep work, right? You take 1 or 2 of those layers out, what's it going to do to the final stage? Well, these artists, you know, a lot of these great painters would not only have different layers all over their canvas, they would have sketches on the side, they'd have color studies, they had, in several of the paintings that they've done, they'd have multiple other paintings, you know, prep work, studies that led up to that painting, right? That they did for specifically that painting. Michelangelo would do that. He would do wax studies. He would do drawings of different angles of his figures. You know, he dissected corpses to figure out anatomy. I mean, there was so much work that went into each of his sculptures that nobody will ever see. But you take that stuff away, and then what is the sculpture in the end, right? Oh. Jinshin retracted his message. Do you work on other projects at the same time too to keep from getting burned out on a single painting for so long? Yeah, I do sometimes. This one's so big that I'm going to try to really do this right and get it done before I get to that stage, because I want to, like, I enjoy October and the Halloween season, and I really want to do like a really cool skull still life or something fun. I want to be able to do that. I want to be free to be able to do that. At the same time, I'm not going to rush this. So yeah, I oftentimes do, but I'll also say right now, Laura, too, and you'll understand this, my spare time, instead of going to another painting, will go into video work. Right? Since we picked that up, it's one of the things that we do. Right, so. All right, let's go in and add some form into this. So this is what I'm talking about, right? You have the option, and I need to think about, okay, these are old man hands. Old man hands. Old man. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. We need to do old man hands. How do we do it? How do we do it? Exaggerate, enlarge certain things, and make certain things look a little bit more swollen. Think about old man hands. I don't know if that's working. I gotta step back with this stuff. That's not quite working. It's okay. It's a little bit too much. It looks like a caterpillar. That is also, you know, he's Indian. His skin tone is going to be a little bit darker than mine and maybe slightly more orange, perhaps. I think they do go olive as well. I don't, you know, you have to forgive me. I'm a little bit ignorant over, I've never been to India before. But from what I've seen, definite shadow shapes here. Lightly building it up. I'm rotating the charcoal, which is why I haven't sharpened it that much. I'm able to keep a sharp line by rotating it around, because I know that doing this, but I'm sharpening another side, so I know which side I'm sharpening. I simply rotate it, and keep on sharpening until the point comes where it's kind of, you know, sharpens, and then it's just like too blunt and I can't really use it anymore. And that's when you go through and you sharpen it. Me too, yeah. Michelangelo said, if people saw the hard work I do, it wouldn't be that interesting. Yeah, he didn't, in fact, he burnt a lot of his drawings that he did. He didn't want people to know how much work he put into it. That man, here's the thing, it's like art can be used as a therapy and it's fun doing. It is fun, it's fun. But if you're to be good at it, you need to get past that point where it's not fun, right? And you got to continuously do it. That starts becoming work, and then you have to fight it and all this stuff, and you go through like, you know, dry spells. You have to figure out how to get past that. Then, you know, it gets old to you. Then you're tired some days or distracted. You put it on the back burner. There's a lot of stuff that gets in the way, but the people who are successful know how to get themselves past that. They'll look at it and actually do the hard work it takes to get it done, right? So that's kind of that's where I'm going with this. And you know, and you can trick yourself. Look, I'll say this: like, I remember working at Carrabba's, which is a great restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant here in America. And like many Italian restaurants, it's not like authentic, but I will say the bistecca alla Fiorentina was like the steak with the spinach was authentic. That was how it was over in Italy. I remember that. Potatoes were too, actually. They served potatoes with. Anyway, I used to work there. And I'm telling you, man, it's like, this is way better. This is way better. All right, so here's the thing. Okay, we have a knuckle here, and then it does go down to about here, and then another one here, but then this one comes up some, which I do have, but perhaps it comes up a little bit higher, because this seems a little bit long. Maybe I might, let me bring this up just a little bit. I'm not gonna do it that much. It doesn't really take that much. It just takes just a little bit. Okay, so let's try this. I don't wanna go too much on this. It might be a little bit too much. Let me fix that. Down, and then I'm gonna bring this other one up. It's like a hair width change. Don't tell yourself that these little changes don't make a difference. They do, even on a scale like this. Let's step back, see how that looks. It's in the ballpark. Elongate this just a little bit, just a little. Just a little on this part. Subtle changes. Okay. Okay. Let's darken this. Here's the thing, my thumbs are weird. The problem I have is they are weird. And I'll show you. Look at this. So it's kind of a problem I have. I can't really always use my hands. I kind of have to fix this. It doesn't go up. It just, I don't know. And then I have the hitchhiker thumb. And my fingers do this stuff. Like, they're not normal. My hands are weird. I have huge hands. But it's like they're mutants. I'm a mutant. My toes are too. I can't really, that's the problem I have. I figure though, if I look at the back side, it works. I don't know. Quildar! Yes! Hello everybody. Pain for me mostly is frustrating. Anger. It's inspiring, tiring. And so little relaxing, calm, peace. I go nuts and steam. That's funny. Sadly, I relate. I think most of us do. This isn't working. This is horribly drawn. Let me go back and fix this. This is not working. This is bad. This is bad. Bring that in. All right, time to sharpen. There we go. Doesn't take much. This is an H, or this is a B. So the B's sharpen really quickly. You just gotta be careful not to break them. Not to break them. Don't want to break them. So you can see, it's like much sharper now. So these little like details I'm putting in, it's not like again, y'all have heard me say this a thousand times, it's not like I'm saying, okay, now I need to round this. I'm literally, when I'm doing that, I'm seeing a small angle and I'm trying to get it right, and I'll have to it fluctuates back and forth for a while. Is Pete here? Hey Pete. Hey buddy. Too many doctor appointments? Oh man. I hope, speaking of that, remember Lisa had surgery. Do you remember? Or she had to go in the doctor's office, like she had something going on. Is the painting in the lower right just for inspiration? So that's what I'm copying. So now that you guys are here, we got more people. I explained this before. Let me do this really quick, and I'll reset it up. But this is it. So that's the painting that I'm copying. And let me zoom out for you. Let me zoom out, but I'm gonna have to switch the lens. Give me 1 second. It doesn't take long, guys. Doesn't take long. That's what we do. Set it back up. It's easy to set back up. It's better that y'all have the understanding of where we're at, so you don't just see a random hand. All right. So, Caller, this is the commission that I have, because I think you or somebody else said that you wanted to see me do my actual work, right? Do the actual work. So there you can kind of see it. Let me zoom it out some. Pull this back. Anyway, this is the commission that I'm working on. It just started, and I am drawing out on charcoal first. That's pretty much it. And I'll stand in front of it actually here. So the whole thing, like if you look, it's pretty big. It's going up. It's 3 by 4 feet. So that's it. And what I have like my notes and stuff around it. The gentleman came in, told me some things like, this is this, that is that. So I just wrote down everything on the actual board itself. There we go. So that is essentially it. Queldar, I went through and like I have different. Let's see if I'm in it. Where am I? I think it's getting blocked off. No, we're good. Okay, so this is it. Like I'm 6 feet right here, and working on that area. I'm going to do this hand probably next and put her hands in. So I have this in the ballpark. I can still fix it, right? It's still very light. And the cool thing about this is like, even if you go dark on the board like this, the charcoal comes off easier than it does like the Roma paper. Roma paper, it like goes into the paper. This, it can still scar at some, but it's not as big of a deal because I don't know. It just doesn't. This is pretty smooth. I sanded it down. This is birchwood paint, all 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch thick. What do we got here? Just the normal transplant immunology appointments, blood work, and annual physical and demonologist. Isn't it kind of weird to copy someone's paying for commission? Sorry for the no. It's so. Let me explain that too, because I agree. Yeah, it is. Good, Pete. I'm glad. That's good to hear, man. So this gentleman it's like a branch of Hindu. It's called Sikhism. That's this particular religion, and there's a gentleman who lives about 30 minutes away from me, and who I've met, and he wants this painting. Now his cousin owns the original painting. It's by an obscure painter and who died back in the 1950s. And there's no paintings of this guy. There's like, but he really likes the composition. Like I said, his cousin owns the original painting, but he wants one for himself. And naturally he liked my work, and so he got in touch with me and asked me if I would paint this. I said, sure, I'll paint it for you. And so it is not, it's not normal. It is not normal. Normally somebody wants a painting, like you might say, yeah, I want it of this religion, I want something like this, and I might come up with it. even though I don't really do that. My work, like I'm Catholic, I'm no Catholicism, and I do that stuff on my own. I can make those paintings. This, I don't know. I don't know it. But there's nothing wrong with doing a painting for a man. And I'm going off of what he says. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully it makes some sense. I know, I saw Demonologist too. You get, well, sorry to hear that. Okay. Yeah, painting my own style. Yeah. Okay, good. So that makes sense. Cool. Okay, so anyway, that's that. And let me switch it back to the other lens and we'll start working on the close-up again. Give me a sec. So that is the deal. It's the deal, man. There's a lot of wires. Push this over so maybe I get a better view than I did before. Give me a sec here. Let's see if I can do that. Where are we? Zoom in. Okay, that's where we. Okay. Let's see if I can. Straight on. This is what I have. So it has move it out. All right, I think that's okay. So I'm going to work on this hand just a little bit longer, not long, and then I'm going to switch it down to my other hand. I need to find the right picture though for that. You'll have to be patient with that. And so there's lots of moving parts with this one. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Midnight Love Affairs with Lil Debbie. What the heck is going on here? Okay. Midnight Love Affairs with Little Debbie. The weirdest viewers. You guys are so weird. Which is why y'all fit here. It's why you belong here. Okay. Okay. I think we got everything set back up properly. Yep. Let's do it. This doesn't work because normally the pinky finger doesn't bend that way, I don't think. It doesn't go like that, so I need to fix that. Like this would be, if it was gonna bend, it bends more on this joint, not this joint, unless like, I know some old people have it like that, but I don't think I wanna do that. This would actually be down. So you see, this is the stuff that we change now. This is the stuff we change now. So I'm just gonna say, you know, if it doesn't work, then screw it. I'll just move it back. It's not a big deal. But this comes up there, and then so this. Okay, that's it. Give me a sec. This will make sense, hopefully. Do that, and then I'm gonna take this line away, but I'm gonna continue the shadowing in. Line. Continue the shadow. See, does that look better? Take light in this. This eraser really goes down to like the surface. I gotta be really light with it, lighter than I normally have to be. Okay. I don't know if that looks right or not. I mean, I can do the straight finger. So I know mine's more straight, but I don't like that. You seem to attract a certain kind of. I do. I really do. I attract very weird people, and I like it that way actually. You know, not in a creepy way. Weird. Weird is just like people have their own personalities. It's not normal. It's not cookie cutter. Cookie cutter's boring as hell. Everybody acting the same. So uncreative. Boring. It's predictable. Weird? You can't predict. You can't predict it. Unless you're very weird and you do see it coming and you relate to it, which sometimes I am in that realm. It does. But yeah. I mean, okay. This comes down a little bit. Just a little. So I'm actually shaping it with the shadow there. I didn't draw it in first. Shape it with the shadow. There we go. And as anything, we go back over the drawing because oftentimes when we shade, we lose part of the drawing. That's totally normal. Okay? That's normal. Queldar. Well, I wanted to say, just because I might have said this to you before, I think I might have, but no, I said it to Laura. What I want to do, I forgot to bring my headset in, but I think what I want to do is have the headset on and talk. You know, we could talk. You know, you, Laura, you know, like some of us can, like, or whatever. I'll have like you or Laura on, or you know, and we can just chat. I can't have everybody, but it might be nice little element to the stream. I think I would like that actually, because I enjoy talking with people. I don't mind just doing this, but I'm just saying it's fun when you have somebody to talk to. If y'all are up for that, I would like to do it. I just need to bring my headset in so that like it's not confusing. Because I don't have a headset in here. Okay. Tag team me. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll have you and Laura on. And who's to say what's weird? Society. Wait, say what again? Say what? Yeah, Pete, I was thinking of having like, because I've had Queldar and Laura on before, and you know, Laura does this type of work. Queldar helps me out with stuff, and so I'm gonna probably have them on here, and so we can. But it makes for interesting conversation, more so than just one dude talking the whole time. One dude, right? It makes it more fun, I think. Makes a better stream. I wouldn't mind doing that. Okay, so what we're trying to do here as well is denote form, denote bone, and all that stuff. All right, so there we go. We got this. We got this. This is coming along. Soften. Soften this. This actually darkens significantly. Rotate. There we go. I'm like literally holding it like this. I'm not even touching. I'm just, this is how it looks. I'm not even doing the pinky thing where I'm just doing that. Went back over it, smooths it out a little bit. Follow the form. This is going with the form. This is going across it. Okay, look at the whole thing. I'm going to darken these areas, this area just a little bit. It doesn't need to be like so modeled. It just needs to make it like, I'm thinking I need to make this paintable, right? I'm trying to make this work so like I can paint on it and make as few mistakes as possible painting. That'll make it look fresher, make it look much nicer. Fade this into a darkness right there, but it has to fade into it. It can't be like slammed into it because otherwise it'll disconnect the knuckles. Same here. A little bit fade up into darkness there, fade it back out, fade into darkness. Okay. This one, and then I'm going to accentuate this just a little bit. There. Same as this. Press this way. Unify form. Going across the form, across the form. This is going with the form. And then slight blanket over the knuckles, very slight, just to bring them down some. All right, so as you can see, we can continuously work on this, but why? Because I just need to make sure it's in the ballpark. I'm gonna have to go through and create the proportions later. And Pete, watch this. Boom! Mirror. See some issues, which can be fixed. It can be fixed. Weird thumbs. I'm telling you, my thumbs are so weird. What is going on with them? Like these knobs. Actually lighten this, and I'll show you how to do it. Your eraser will start picking up the charcoal. It'll make it less sensitive to picking it up. In this manner, you can even out the value. It's a little bit better, right? And then if I want it even lighter, mush it around so it absorbs all the charcoal, and then go back into it again. As such, right? So that's what we're doing there. I could keep working on that, but let's continue with the hands. Now, to keep it interesting, let's switch out the reference photo, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Queller, you're going to, in particular, appreciate this. Okay. Give me a second. Wait. Laura, I could even join your stream if you want. I know, that'd be so awesome. I'd like to think that my best painting is the last one, and then the next one will be my best one. She totally ignored you, Queldar. Shot down. I looked into getting a couple sheets of Fabriano Roma paper. It would cost me $30+ for just one sheet, shipping and handling. So reducing lenses look cool too. Does it cost that much? I forget how much they cost because I bought several of them at a time, so probably at a better price. I don't know. Okay, let me switch something else. This is Hindu image number 2. Hide. I know you know. All right, Queller, this one's for you. Look at this. Just let me zoom in and show you my depth of loyalty to painting. This is what I do. Hello, humans. Okay, so this area right here, obviously you can tell. Sorry, I was like doing it with the mouse. You can't see the mouse. Anyway, the red cloth, you can tell is the, you see that. So these hands, here's the goal. I have to make them feminine. Now, if I had Queldar's hands, this wouldn't be a problem. But since I'm so masculine and have an abundance of testosterone, this is a problem. This is a real issue. It kept me up all last night. I said, how do I fight my own manliness? I can't. That's the whole point. It's too strong. So, but you know what? That same manliness is prompting me to meet this head on and defeat it. So this is what we're doing. Look at these beautiful feminine hands, all right? Wait. I don't think y'all need to see this picture, do you? I don't think so. This is Hindu image number 3. Hide. There. Now, what was that? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Move this down. Move this here. Okay, so see that? So, wait, let me adjust. Okay. I know this is weird. So, there we go. It's the hand. He's judging you. It's the hand we just did. His arm. I'll have to draw that hand. But I won't do that yet. I'm going to put her hand. So essentially her elbow is right there, coming up. That's where the wrist would be, and it's going to be clutching. You see what we're doing here? So that's where it is. And now her left hand is going to have to be touching the hand that I just drew, the finger I just drew. Okay, so that's our goal. That's what we got to do. Now, let me say this. This is a kind of, and I'm going to bring this out to show you kind of what I'm talking about here, because there's a little story. So the gentleman wants me to do that. He wants me to be faithful to the image. I understand that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I originally had let's see. Did my thing freeze? Is this frozen? Is it freaking frozen? No, I don't think it's frozen. Okay. So originally, like this area right here, I put her hands like this because I liked this compositionally. This right here worked, and I like this drawing here. Like I spent a lot of time setting this up, even though in the paint it's like this, but I don't like that. But I understand, the connection, like, one hand's touching here, so there's that link, right? And so that's what he wanted. At first I kind of put him praying like this because, Hindus, they do pray like this, like I've seen this. But he came in, this gentleman came in and said, no, he wants it though. So I'm going to draw that in. Now I did not detail the hand, I had it blocked in kind of the same way that I have, that bottom hand blocked in. So let's move this forward some. Hopefully that made sense. I feel like okay, I'm going to start here. I'll probably zoom in once I have it blocked in properly. Okay. I think we're good right there. Okay, so, oh, and also y'all can't read those words probably because I wrote them really quick. It says hand darker. He wants the backhand darker for some reason. I don't know why. It's just it was in the last painting, but I personally think it was just poorly painted, but I might be wrong about that. What the crap? Can't you get Rose to pose for that? Yeah, actually that would have been a good idea. Damn it. Why didn't I think? Well, she's not in. She hasn't been in recently. I haven't done this before. Also, the stream buffered for me, and it got delayed for a couple of minutes. That sucks. Wait, mine did? Or yours? Another question. Why are you shading if you're going to end up painting over it? I'll answer that. I was wondering that too, Claudia. So the reason why I'm shading is to understand the form. Because, like, is to understand. So when I go into it with paint, I can apply those values in the shadow shapes. It'll just put me one step closer, and it's freaking easy to do. You know, it's not gonna make a difference. So my thing is, you know, like the shadow shapes are gonna be there, so I'll paint the shadow shapes in. I'll paint the light shapes. I'll be able to paint a greater range of values right off the bat. But it also, when you draw, it gives you the knowledge and the understanding of the anatomy, and that's very important. So if you take that, in addition to having a framework set, you know, even though it's going to be covered, it's a framework, so you can apply the paint where it goes, but you'll also have the added knowledge of the form. That's why I'm doing it. Do you need to? No, it's not necessary. But I don't mind doing it, it's fun, and it's also, here's another thing, really thinking about it, is getting me into the work. I just enjoy modeling it at this stage, and it's keeping me enthusiastic about the painting instead of just being like technical. So that's for me. So hopefully that makes sense. You have a feeling that some of messages aren't getting through. So, oh, you must have answered Queldar or something, and you didn't. I hear you, Laura, but also I don't hear you about me on your stream, so I'm left wondering, where's the love? Okay, all right. Sorry, got that. Okay, that's the one. Let me get my reference photo up here. And this, which one is it? Okay. Screw it. I'll do this one. It doesn't matter. Okay. My thumbs are so weird. Okay. Now, this, I'm going to put the pinky here. Pinky, and then goes to probably here, down, and then this hand. I'm going to curve it a little bit more too, so this is where it stops. So we don't, all right, so when we're blocking the hands in, we don't need to draw every single detail with it. We don't. At first you don't want to, you really don't want to. All right, so this is the knuckle of the pinky right here. This is the knuckle. It's coming down, and then we have the actual hands, my knuckles, which are huge. And mutant-like for some reason. We don't know why, but they are. Like that. I am bracing my pinky with the on the board. That's what I'm doing. Okay, now we have this, and it's kind of coming this way. And if this is this distance, then this is going to be here, coming down to the wrist here, and then the wrist is going to be here. I guess I need to measure it off. The wrist is normally that long. It seems about right there. Okay, so, and then it breaks. It's kind of falling back behind there. But then, we also at the same time need to put the other hand in to make sure that this works, because it might not. I might need to move this up some, because because painting sucks. Okay. Up. Might actually. Okay, wait. This is here. This is here. This is here. This is going across. We should draw that down. This comes on that way. Okay. So 1, 2. Ah, these beautiful folds. This form. We're losing so much. We still have this, though. We still have this. This works. Okay. Now. And this one. Okay, but maybe I should have started here. Okay. Alright, well, this might work. This might work. This thing, I'd probably have to bring this. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. All right, if this is there, this is where the pinky ends. Marking that. This comes here. Okay, and the pinky, this part, and then this comes here. Okay, so then, okay, that's this part. It's the wrist area, and then it's going to be dropping down as such. Which that's the wrist here. That doesn't make any sense because it's like, okay, so then the wrist should be coming this way, then this part needs to come up. Okay, wait. Okay, if this is the inside of the wrist, it's going to be this wide, coming across, and coming down. This is where it would be. And then this would be back, so these folds would be back here. I'm going to have to modify that. So this is where the wrist would be, right? No, wait. Damn it. Okay. Let me think. Don't necessarily need it that way. If I bring this forward. Guys, sorry, I'm like, this is the process. This is the process here. This is the process. Okay, so if we have this wrist here, we bring the wrist here. The wrist is here, and then we have this part, and we can bring this actually in some. Down. All right, I'm just actually making this up because I'm better than reality. 1, 2. You even seeing this? Okay, you're not even seeing what I'm doing. Then I'm gonna move this out. Give me a sec. All right, so this is what I'm doing. This is worth getting the full picture of what I'm trying to accomplish here. Okay, I'm going to bring this out here. This is good. All right, and let me reiterate what I did. Sorry about that. So what we're trying to do is, as you can tell, I was posing on a mannequin leg. A little bit different than human wrist. What do you know? So essentially what I'm trying to do is, this is her wrist. This is where I had her hand coming up, right? This is her arm, her forearm right here. This is her elbow. So this is the forearm that's coming up, but it can't come up that way, right? So I have to redraw this. I have to say this is the wrist here, right? Where's the wrist compared to this wrist? And then this wrist has to be like, it might be getting cut off a little bit behind here, which that's understandable, right? Okay. So if it's getting cut off there, like I think actually this needs to be a little bit wider for her wrist. This part comes up, probably something up there like that. Okay, so what we're gonna do, erase this, erase this, erase this. So we're just gonna redraw. You see what we're doing? And this is exactly why we draw it out. Can you imagine doing this in paint? It would suck. Okay. This still is like way too small, way too thin. We'll get it though, we'll get it. This is all part of the composition. It is totally doable. It's just cracking the code. We gotta crack the code. Crack the code. All right, so we're cracking the code. Not this, okay. Let me me try something here. If I have this, let's bring the pinky here. We'll put the pinky here. Use my reference photos. It's just ballpark measures. It's not going to be anything. So this is the tip of the pinky, okay? This will make sense in a second, guys. 1 second. Stupid Mike. And I'm back. Essentially, this is hard. Was I blocking the camera too? Please tell me I wasn't blocking the camera. Damn it. Was I blocking the camera before? I need to pay attention to this stuff. Oh, good. Nope, not black. That's fine. Okay, so essentially, I messed up because in my reference photo, as you can tell, the angle's wrong. Like my hands are going this way, and this arm is going this way, whereas the leg was going straight down, and so this angle is different. So I'm having to shift this down this way, but it's this is a little tricky. This is a little tricky, I have to say. I'm just gonna draw this. I'm gonna stop using the reference photo for a second. I'm just gonna use I'm going to make this up. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this up and then I'll go back to the reference photo. And there's a reason why I'm doing that. This is his leg. Okay. That's his leg. I forgot about that. Okay. So then this part is going to be going behind the leg, which that makes more sense. Okay. All right, this is starting to make sense. And then how wide is her wrist? It's about there, and then it's coming down this way. So this is going to change here. So it's kind of like that. Okay. There we go. So we just need to change this angle of her wrist kind of coming up as such. So we have that. This is it. This is where her wrist is, and then it's kind of coming up this way, and then you have the thumb here. Okay, this is starting to make a little bit more sense. This is making more sense. We'll get it. We'll get it. Let me double check something. Like, I don't know why my equipment just stops working. It just stops. It's like, whatever. So did I miss something? I don't know, Laura. I don't know. I'm just talking about the mic. And y'all predicted, like, wait until he finds out that his mic's not working. He's gonna freak out. Y'all know me all too well. Hey, I think I handled it pretty good, though, for considering how many technical BS problems I have to deal with. Okay, so I think that's close. Wait. This is it. Let's thicken the wrist just a little bit here. Just a little, okay. feminine. Well, I'll have to correct a lot of this. Question, should the hand optically touch or nearly touch, creating tension? You mean like this right here? Like, yeah, I need to create tension here. It needs to work with the form underneath. That's like, but I'm trying to get this part to touch this because the person who commissioned me wants me to have this touching. There's a connection there. Was that the question you asked? Like, I'm just trying to work the anatomy out right now because the photo reference I had is incorrect, and I have to do this to make this work. I have to make sure both of these work. Make sure there's enough room here to put this in properly. Like, it's all connected. So I might have to shift. Here's the thing. I'm working the anatomy out, but it's very easy for me to shift it this way or that way or correct anatomy. Like, I'll just spend the time necessary to correct this stuff. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Okay. So the knuckle here, it's going to be a knuckle here. So compare the knuckles off each other to get one. If you have a hard time knowing where the knuckles are, don't just like make them up. You really got to observe. Just measure them off of other knuckles. Detailed. I just want to make sure that this makes sense, okay? And now you have this piece coming up, so I might have it actually coming up into her hand, pressing up against it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Really creates that tension. And maybe even I can put this part, I don't know if it would be coming, I mean, I could technically bring this part back out, kind of covering, so it's kind of coming up like that. Let me see if this works. I need to see if this works. I don't know if it will work. All right, so that's wrist. It's kind of coming out, so it would make sense that you have like this kind of fold coming up around, like in front of this, right? That will create that depth. Maybe I'll leave it there. And how was it before? We had this kind of like coming through like that, something like that. I don't know. I don't really remember what it was. Mess with that. Okay, anyway, so we have that. This is, I like how this is looking. Okay, if this is here, this hands. This might be a little bit longer. Let me try to do this. Let me just elongate this just a little bit here. I'll have to mess with these. Elongate that pinky just a little bit. Gotta make sure that we don't give her small hands. Okay, so that's more feminine digit. Hands optically touch right here. The hands optically touch. Now, yes, but should they? The two people's hands. Like, oh, you're talking about these hands? Like, I mean, this will overlap. It's not going to be physically touching her. It's just overlapping in the painting, right? That's kind of that's my understanding of it, because this hand's coming forward, right? And I don't, honestly, I don't think I think there's a slight space in between the two here. It's just this is so foreshortened that this is going to be overlapping on top of this. If anything, it might be touching just a slight bit, but I don't know. This is one of the major disadvantages of working off a painting, especially one that is not well painted. Because unless I was to have an actual model come in, two of them, and really pose, and like me, instead of me doing it, because it's hard, like I can use myself as a reference, but it's way different when you're just observing two people, right? So does that answer your question? I feel like I might not be that clear today, in which case I apologize. I'll keep an eye out for what you say, because I know it delayed. I've been preoccupied with this. This part. I'm going to take this off there. There we go. And this comes in some. Maybe. Sorry guys, I've got to hit the road. I have some things to take care of. Pete, take care, buddy. Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. And I hope you do okay. I hope you're doing all right. I'm glad people are taking care of you. And we had that conversation about working out the other day. So I stopped the creatine just for see how it goes. So, I'll get on it every once in a while, I'll get off it, and honestly, the main thing I've noticed that when I eat well and actually get sleep, then that's when I do the best anyway. So I don't think creatine's that important. Yeah, guys, I think I am going to call this. I think I'm going to call this right. Hey, unless y'all want to keep on watching, because I'm going to be working on this for a while, but I think I might call it so that, because it's been about 2 hours, even though we got started 10 minutes late because of technical issues I was having. This thing here. Might be a little bit small, this hand. I might have to make it a little bit bigger. to mess with that. I mean, it's looking better. It's getting closer. This isn't working. This I need to work on. This actually might come down some that way. Widen that out just a little bit. Bring that down. Okay. Let's see how. Give me a second. Let me step back. It's looking a little bit better. It's not convincing to me. I still need to work on that. Yeah, you guys do that. And hey, I'm going to try to remember, guys. I'm going to try to remember to bring my headset in, and so I can actually do that with you. Because in my headset, let's see which one I'm going to use. I have a longer cord one, which I could use. Okay, I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, I can actually do it because I got an extension. Good. Okay. I'm going to try to remember to bring my headset in. I'll have you guys on, okay? If I remember. Thursday. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Always. I really do appreciate it. And I have a great time doing this. It helps me in my work. It really helps me to be able to articulate. It helps me not go into my shell, which is one of the things that I'm always in danger of when I'm working by myself in the studio all day long. And I am very grateful for all of you that take the time to watch this stream. I really appreciate it. So, Laura streamed last Friday at 12. Laura, are you gonna stream at 11 o'clock this Friday? And I'm gonna stream this Thursday, 11:30 a.m. You guys know this. And I'll wrap the stream up if Laura is still here and if she says that. But guys, thank you so much. Y'all take care. Yes, 11 o'clock. All right. Y'all be good. Get some good work done. I'll see you guys later.